Okay, so um, we have a group that we play weekly remotely right now on WebEx because of the lovely situation that the world is in. Um, and when we play, I've been streaming here and there. But when I had been working or playing with a buddy of mine who had done Edge of Darkness, and we've done some videos on that in the Tabletop Simulator. So that got me the idea of trying to do, like, I was doing some dice rolling in Tabletop Simulator, but I also wanted to do and see if I could set up the scenario so it would actually like people could join in and see who are playing if they want to. So that led me to build out a bunch of stuff. I actually built some token objects to build, cement and streets and on the grid and off the grid so that you can really kind of see where it's at. The coolest part about this whole thing is so I took this table from the workshop. It's called Grid. It's actually a really cool table. The original designer did a really good job, in my opinion, keeping something um, very compact, but actually very versatile. I generally don't hide these little trays because when you do, it's just an animation, and then everything falls to the floor if you don't have it locked. Which to me is like, what's the point? Why don't you just have them out? Because it's not like you're sitting here physically standing and worrying about getting something in your way. So I set this up for a 7-player game. You could go 8. Our group is 6 players and a DM right now, give or take at a time. So the cool thing about the DM is he could actually roll in here too if he wanted to. There's the 2 buttons here. Zoom in here. So close is a bad button to use. I almost want to disable the close button. I have to go through the script and figure out how to do it. But this hide button is awesome. So that means that the DM could potentially hit the hide button and then his area here. Now I am the DM right now, but if I switch my color over to, let's change over to blue. So if I switch over to blue, look, all of his stuff is now missing. So he can roll his dice in here if he wanted to as well, and just, so he could grab this tower that I've, put in here. This tower's here just for if someone wants to clone it and put it, make it smaller, put it next to them, they can roll the dice, or they can use the cannons, which we'll talk about later. There's some dice sets that are here. People can generate their own dice sets if they want to. This is the tablet because Open Legend, you can actually go to Hero Muster, and you can actually look at your character there. So what I was trying to show though is that everyone has these hidden zones, and everyone can hide their own zone if they really feel like it. This is for if you were playing um, like a card game or whatever, and you had a hand, so you'd want to put your hand, in. Um, so so we'll go back to the DM so I can go over some of the other stuff that I was playing around with. I mean, a lot of this is inherent in Tabletop Simulator. As you can see, the DM can see anyone's, even if, so I just hid the blue players, but the DM can see everything. He's, God mode, right? So like, for example, if I were to go, so let's just change over real quick. So if I were to go to teal, so you could see that the 2 hidden spots here, teal cannot see what has been hidden. They can only see their own and what has not been, what has been hidden. So let's go back to the DM. Okay, so DM has, I have to play around. I don't like the color or the background of these initiative sheets. They're just really straightforward. Someone put it in, but we're going to put all the names in here, and then we can keep initiative that way if we want to. So the cool thing about this table is I've created these various tokens. They say tiles, but they're really tokens because tiles don't act, well, they don't take a PNG like I thought they should. So anyway, so what you could do is you can if you wanted to, you can just pull out the different tiles types if you wanted to. There's different shapes. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. Desert here. I got water here. Come on. Why is that not working? There it is. Okay. So ultimately, and you could see I've generated the grid on them, but the grid exists on this table surface, right? So you can see it kind of, so this is wood, the wood. So you could see that the grid is set up. So you could technically take this and expand it, and you could fit it on the grid kind of how you want it. So there's now a 3x3 water tile if you want it, and it has the grid, and the players' tokens will snap either onto the middle, which we don't really care, but that's just for, but you can actually have them set so that they will snap to that. So I just built out this scenario here. These tiles can then be saved, and so what I have done is you can actually go get a saved object. So I made this room test object, which is the street on a corner with the cement inside. Just so like that means the DM could actually go in and just create some different saved object images from the tiles and generate them as they go. So the other cool thing that the DM can do is they could say, all right, maybe for example, the blue suit is outside and he can't see in this area. Now there's a window here. Let's clone this guy. So let's clone. Put a couple more windows here just to have some fun, just to show the versatility of kind of what we're trying to do here. Just some windows here, and then we can just rotate these windows so that they're in the proper area. Right. Just get these in the right spot. Cool. All right. So there you go. So we've got our. If you look, you could see the doors. You could see the windows. I don't know why that one decided to go like that. Okay, cool. So we have this set up here. But say he's like, no, I don't want to reveal this just yet. Well, obviously Tabletop Simulator has an answer for it. So there's Fog of War, which is really kind of cool. So what he can do is he can basically, before he places all this stuff in here, he could actually set it up. So there's a Fog of War right here. And he could see the Fog of War. He could see through it. But we can't. So if we just flip over to, say, I didn't lose that there, did I? Let me check. Change color to blue. So, as you can see, now we can't see anything other than this black, whatever. We can't interact with anything in there. We can't see anything. It's Fog of War, no matter what. So he could say, oh yeah, you walk up, and he could even make a little smaller if he wanted to. So let's go back to him. So let's say he Fog of War. So he has the Fog of War here. Maybe he wants to make it. So you can rehide object, gray out visited. I don't know how to set up. Um, I don't know how to set up. I have to go through how to open up the Fog of War bit by bit. Right now, it doesn't. I have to go look up at the tutorial, so I don't know. So anyway, when you click it, it goes away. But say he doesn't care about, like, he doesn't have anything. I have to get this right. That's the only thing about it that looks like it just hides the whole thing. So let's see. Okay, so that's the Fog of War. Let's just go over to the blue player. Okay, so yeah, it's hiding the actual object because I created those as an object, so that's why that's all going away. So either way, I mean, there's ways to play around with it. You can see that there's doors, windows, etc. The other thing that we could do instead is we could. This is just the base table. And I have also, the cool thing about grid, this table, is you can use custom tiles. So the other alternate is you can create these, and I have these tiles that I created. The grid hack mod made it so that you can just you can create your tiles, you can apply them to this tile, and when you drop the tile on here, it'll actually update the play interface. So now you can see that we have all this to work with. You can actually see the grid. You got the compass. So now you can work with just tiles in different areas as you want to. So the scenario is, say we're playing in our we're playing. So this could say Oliver Ramos wants to come over here, and we've got Shooting Star who's kind of sitting over here looking through this window. We've got Blitzman. The other thing that's kind of nice about how I've done this, I've tailored it to the Open Legend group, but you can when you hover over things, now this will help with people who, I know when we're playing right now, I mean, our group, the DM is trying to like use multiple like maps and move around, and sometimes we have to ask him to like pull out. This would give the whole scenario right there, so everyone can look around as they wish, as they feel. The DM can lock stuff down so they can't move things, and only the DM can. But what we have here is when you hover over stuff, you see that's the blue suit, enemy one, enemy two. So you don't have to ask the GM, oh, wait, who's that guy over there? It'll actually say on them that's the alternative enemy, blah, blah, blah. You could even label these if he wants to exactly what it is. Say we're going up against a guy named like Black Mask or something like that. You could actually name it that, and then it would work. So so that's cool. The other neat thing is, what is underneath this? There's something. I have a fog of war going. Oh yeah, that's right. I have the fog of war going. I was wondering what this is. I was wondering what the black thing. Okay. So there we go. Okay. So now we're back to normal. Okay. So the other cool thing is, say as the blue suit steps in and he wants to fire. What's the range? I mean, you can count out here, but the cool thing, again, Tabletop Simulator, is you can do a measurement from this square to this square. It is 6.4 squares. It's 6 squares from the edge to here. It's 6 squares. 3, 4, 5. Well, it's 5. Well, it's 6 from middle to middle, right? We would go right there. It's 5 squares because it's 0.7. So you would actually go from here to here. Anyway, so you'll know that range times 5, 30 feet, right, for movement, so that the DM doesn't have to constantly be like, oh, here's your range, here's your range. You can actually like on your own go, okay, from this square to this square. It's so many without all that. Um, I might make some range finders as well just to have them for visual, but so there's that aspect of the board here, which I thought was kind of cool. The other thing I did was I obviously brought in the Open Legend PDF. That I bought the book, the PDF, and I've bought the cards as well. I set the cards up in here. Someone else had scanned the Open Legend cards in here. So these are the Banes and the Boons cards, and these can be copied, etc. But the cool thing is if you want to know kind of um, what, so say you just really need to know what the different Banes are, you can just start typing whatever. But say I want to know what my teleport boon does every time. So I'm just going to take this card out of the deck, and this way I can just put it right here in front of me, and at any time you can just have Alt and you can look at it. So you just know kind of like what's going on there. So yeah, you always have it kind of in front of you if you really needed it. I was just one of those kind of cool things. I just wanted to put a little bit extra in there. Banes are the same thing, so the DM could actually, or the GM could take a Bane and put it on people so that they can see this is exactly kind of what's going on. So those cards are there. My character sheets is just a custom PDF that I got the PDF. I printed a PDF from the Hero Muster site, and then I have my character sheet here, so I can always just reference my character sheet if I want to. You can also pop out, and it just puts my character sheet right here. While I'm looking at the rest of the game, I can have it up. I can go to page 2, etc. The other cool thing is that with the book, you can of course hold Alt, or you can also pop out, and you can just have it over here, and you can basically go to whichever whichever chapter or page is important for you to read up on stuff. It's just the PDF from the site. So there's that. And again, there's the actual Hero Muster site if you really wanted to. You could go in here. Let me pull it up over here. I'm supposed to have that up here. Let's go to Hero Muster. The Hero Muster site. So just go here. And you could log in with your Hero Muster login if you wanted to, and you could go and actually have your character brought up here. So whoever, let's see, I think it's, there we go, feats, boons. you have your NPC. There's a way to make this. I don't remember how you can toggle. I think it's a toggle. That might make it easier. Okay. So now, when it's locked, it's a hell of a lot easier to. Oh yeah, so you can pop out the screen. Here we go. That's what I was looking for the whole time, was how to pop out the screen. So you can go to, and you can log in. It wouldn't take anything. Everyone could log in their own sites on Hero Muster, and then they could have their character up that way, which I did the other day. So I should probably default it to that. All right, so that's the tablet. I locked it at an angle. Anyone could have the tablet on their side if they wanted to. The other thing is I got a whole lot of dice. People could generate their own dice if they want to. There's a dice tower. The dice cannon is the next thing that I thought was kind of neat. I plan to use it. So if no one else plays with me with this, at least I will be in this, and I will be trying to redesign the GM's whole layout in here as I'm playing along, just for something added to do. But so what I've got here is everyone's got their little dice bag, and these dice cannons. So we get our dice, load them into the cannon, and fire. Sometimes it doesn't hit it, but it gives you your total. Oh, the camera's right there. So it gives me my total. You can go and zoom in if you really wanted to, zoom in on it and see, or you could just hover over it and see what the actual roll was. What else do I have? Yeah, the initiative, the big 20, I just figured it'd be funny to have. We're gonna bring that big one out in case for like a really big moment or whatever. It's called the Big 20. That was a 19. You could actually make the cannon bigger and put it in there, but I didn't want to do that because that just it'd be kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so I showed you the custom images here. You could change out. I have a plain one. I have the other one, and I can build. I was gonna build some more. You could just make it a color if you want, which is nice. Whatever, you don't really care. I think that's about it. So the GM has NPC tokens if they want. It has enemy tokens. They've got grass, wood, street, cement, desert, and water, as well as the door and window tiles. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm trying to look into other functionality. Like I said, I'm trying to get these other these close things out of the way, because if you hit the button, I have everything locked, but everything falls away. So, but yeah, so everyone, I don't know, that was pretty cool. So that's about it.